1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramnayaka. The headlines. The Committee on Public Finance recommends the Central Bank to postpone the salary hike. 29,600 employees recruited to the Multipurpose Department will be made permanent. Minister Shahan Semasinghe says that the amendment draft bill for the Parate law will be submitted to the Parliament tomorrow. 3 underworld gang members arrested during a special operation. Tourist arrivals hit new high this year. The World Bank praises 1990 Suez Area ambulance service. Foreign News Appeals Court freezes Texas' new SB4 immigration law. An investigation report regarding the salary increase of the Central Bank employees has been submitted to the Parliament by Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva. The Committee on Public Finance, COPF, today recommended in its report that the Central Bank postpone the salary increase of its employees. The COPF chairman, Dr. Harsha De Silva, informed Parliament that a committee should be appointed by the Finance Minister with agreement of the Central Bank Governor to look into the salary hike of the Central Bank employees and to suspend the salary hike until the report is submitted. The chairman and the report of the committee should be submitted within 4 weeks. The State Minister Shahan Semasinghe said that the salary increase of the employees of the Central Bank is not done by the government or the Minister of Finance. The opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that the increasing of salaries of the Central Bank employees rather than other state employees is contradictory to the Code of Ethics. State Minister Janaka Wakkumara says that 29,600 employees recruited to the Multipurpose Department will be made permanent. Out of this amount, 2,600 persons have not been made permanent yet. They will be deployed for the services in the provincial hospitals and schools. In addition, minor employees who are serving in local government bodies under casual basis will also be made permanent. The President and the Prime Minister have given their approval in this regard. Minister Shahan Semasinghe says that the amendment draft bill for the Parate law will be submitted to the Parliament tomorrow. It will be passed in Parliament after the judicial decision. Meanwhile, the Asian Development Bank has granted $100 million for the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in the country. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. 3 members of underworld gangs were arrested during a special operation launched yesterday to crack down on organized criminal activities. In response to a concerning increase in organized crime activities in the western and southern provinces, a special operation targeting 20 identified organized criminal gangs in the country was launched under the Yuktiya initiative yesterday. As part of the operation, 20 special police teams have been deployed to crack down on the identified underworld gangs. Police said that a member of the organized criminal gang associated with Keselwatta Dinuka was arrested by a special team led by Inspector Attanayaka in Borali yesterday evening. The arrested suspect, Tarindu Ruwankumara, was found in possession of 6,550 milligrams of heroin and has been handed over to the Colombo Crimes Division. The chairman of the Airport and Aviation Services Limited, Athula Galkatia, remarked that the arrival of foreign tourists has risen owing to President Ranil Wickremesinghe's economic initiatives and the peaceful environment fostered within the country. Consequently, Bandaranaike International Airport, Katunayake, has seen notable increase in air passenger usage. The chairman reported that from January 1st to March 19th, 2024, the number of air passengers who utilized the BIA services amounted to 850,000. Mr. Galkatia noted that it is anticipated approximately 10 million passengers will utilize the airport by the end of this year. He further highlighted that the total number of passengers using the Bandaranaike International Airport, Katunayake in 2022 was 5 million, with a projected increase to 8 million in 2023. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala
The 1990 Suicide Ambulance Service in Sri Lanka has come in for high praise from the World Bank, with the WB describing it as one of the world's most digitally advanced, efficient and free ambulance service that has given a second chance at life to millions of critically ill or injured persons. The World Bank Group's South Asia Region Vice President Martin Racer said the Suicide ambulance has rushed patients to the nearest hospital or primary care facility within 12 minutes of their call, one of the fastest response rates in the world for an ambulance service. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB New Year offer. Valuable gifts and gift vouchers. 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
In Watchlight this afternoon, trains operating on coastal line have been restricted due to a derailment, the railway control room says. A Kaluthara southbound train had derailed near the Secretariat station yesterday. Therefore, there will be possible train delays and cancellations on the coastal line owing to this situation. And that came to you in Watchlight.
CIB New Year offer. Valuable gifts and gift vouchers. 25% discount for bank cards till 10th of April. Visit CIB today. CIB revives once always.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines first. Appeals Court freezes Texas' new SB4 immigration law. Famine looms in Sudan as civil war survivors tell of killings and rapes. And New Zealand's Winston Peters does not care about tub-thumping row. A federal appeals court has frozen Texas' controversial immigration law, one of the toughest laws of its kind enacted by a U.S. state in modern times. The decision came just hours after the Supreme Court allowed the measures SB4 to take effect pending an appeal. The measure would allow officials in the state to detain and prosecute unauthorized migrants. Mexico has refused to accept any migrant deported by Texas under the new law. The Biden administration has challenged SB4, calling it unconstitutional. The decision to freeze the law is the latest in a string of rulings deciding its fate. Civilians caught up in Sudan's civil war have given graphic accounts to the BBC of rape, ethnic violence and street executions. Journalists have managed to make it to the front line of the fighting close to the capital Khartoum. Top UN officials have said the conflict has plunged the country into one of the worst humanitarian nightmares in recent history and could trigger the world's largest hunger crisis. There are also fears that in Darfur, the west of the country, a repeat of what the US called genocide 20 years ago may be beginning to unfold. New Zealand's Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters says he does not care about the row over using Shambawamba hit tub-thumping at a political rally. The UK band had accused him of hijacking the song and had asked their recording label to issue a cease and desist letter. It seems the media care about the Shambawamba story than we do. We actually don't care, Mr. Peters said. There's nothing to cease or desist, he wrote on X today. Mr. Peters, who leads the right-wing New Zealand's First Party that it's part of the governing coalition, walked onto stage to tub-thumping ahead of controversial speech last weekend. And back to the headlines of the world news. Appeals Court freezes Texas' new SB4 immigration law. Famine looms in Sudan as civil war survivors tell of killings and rapes. And New Zealand's Winston Peters does not care about tub-thumping row. And that ends World News.
Development News.
Now on to development news. 22 rural roads in the Balapitiya Pradesh Sabha will be developed. 10.65 million rupees will be spent for this project. Priority will be given to renovate roads that are at a dilapidated condition, and that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
And in sports news, Sri Lanka Rugby is set to host the Asia Rugby Division 1 Championship in Colombo from the 28th of April to the 5th of May between hosts Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Qatar. However, the participation of Pakistan is still in doubt due to political uncertainty. The tournament was confirmed by Asia Rugby recently. If Pakistan pulls out, SLR will likely to host the event with 2 matches against Qatar outfit, and the venue for the tournament probably will be the racecourse grounds in Colombo. And that was sports news.
Go ekatiyana youth ekat life ekේ change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The buying rate of the US dollar dropped below the 300 rupee mark for the first time since July 5th, 2023, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka said. The Sri Lankan rupee has continued to strengthen in the recent times, and the value of the rupee has further increased against the US dollar, CBSL said. According to the data of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar was 299 rupees and 29 cents yesterday, and the selling rate was 308 rupees and 90 cents. And that was business news.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth ekat life ekේ change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on to economic news. Agricultural development activities are being carried out in the southern province. The aim of this move is to expand the plantation and economic crop cultivation. The support of the agrarian development has been received for this purpose, and that was economic news.
Weather report.
A change in the prevailing dry weather of the island can be expected by tomorrow. Several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the northern province. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, Uva, southern and northwestern and north central provinces during the afternoon or night. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and the Galle and Matra district during the morning. Well, that was the weather report, and prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines again. The COPF recommends Central Bank to postpone the salary hike. 29,600 employees recruited to the multipurpose department will be made permanent. Minister Shehan Semasinga says that the amendment draft bill for the Parate law will be submitted to the Parliament tomorrow. 3 underworld gang members arrested during a special operation. Tourist arrivals hit new high this year. The World Bank praises 1990 Suicide Ambulance Service. And foreign news, appeals court freezes Texas' new SB4 immigration law. Well, with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's over to Satya to keep you entertained this Wednesday afternoon. Over to you, Satya.